Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Onsite Renovation Group for December 4th, 2018. We're here at Frank Iglesias' new construction property down at 1527 First Street Northeast in Atlanta. I'm here with my good friend Don DeRosa as well, and a full crowd of folks today who came out to see this new construction project. The Onsite Renovation Group meets on the first and third Tuesday of every month at real job sites. We hope you'll come out and join us at one of these. Onsite is sponsored by Baker Collins. Joseph Castaneda can't be here today, but he wanted me to tell you if you guys need some money to fund your project, he can help you out. So check out bakercollins.com for more information and give Joseph a call. I also want to announce that on December the 18th, later this month, we're doing our last Onsite Renovation Group of the year. That's going to be at 1296 West Wesley Road Northwest in Atlanta. That's down in the Buckhead area. We're going to see over $1 million Airbnb. I don't know what the exact value is. I don't know if it's 1.5, 1.2, but it's $1 million Airbnb. We'll be seeing that for the first time, so hopefully you'll come visit and check that one out as well. Also, please watch our replays on Facebook. You can go to facebook.com/onsiteatlanta. We put replays up there, as well as youtube.com/Atlanta REIA. You can scroll down that page and see our on-site renovation replays. Also, you can check them out on our website at onsite.atlantarea.com. That's onsite.atlantarea.com. So we're going to get started. Thanks for being here. So as we get started, I'm just going to kind of pan around real quick and show you the property. This is the new construction project. I'm just kind of panning around where you can see the neighborhood. A lot of the houses have been rehabbed to some extent. You got what looks like new construction right over here. Then the one right across the street from Frank's house has that kind of modern design. The one next door has been rehabbed. Looks like the two next door have not there, and nor has the one on the other side. But this is a new construction project. They're actually working on it right now as we speak. So Don just arrived, so we're going to get started here momentarily. All right, so Joseph couldn't be here today. Joseph Castaneda with Baker Collins, but Selena's here, and yes, she's going to share some information about Baker Collins as well as a meeting she has coming up real soon, or a workshop.
Yeah, so my name is Selena Williams. I'm actually a realtor and listing agent as well as an investor agent. I represent a lot of investors looking for their fix and flips in the Atlanta area with Southeastern Home Team and Amy Ransdell's team. I also work hand in hand with Joe Castaneda and Baker Collins. We send them a lot of deals for fix and flips, so they will fund it for you. They will look at your whole situation and definitely get a deal done, and they do close on their deals. I do know that. On top of that, Joe Castaneda and myself, Selena Williams, have just launched the first fix and flip boot camp in Spanish. It'll be in Spanglish to attract all the masses, but it will be in Spanish as well. And so it's called Flipping Familia. It's going to be sponsored by MOG Improvements. It'll be on January 26th. You can find us on Eventbrite and Facebook, and I have flyers here to hand out to everybody. If you guys have any questions and would like to reach out to myself or Joe, my number is 470-326-0326. Joe Castaneda's number is 404-599-5990, and he can help you fund all your hard money deals.
And she's got plenty of flyers if you guys want one or interested in fixing Familia.
And Flipping Familia.
How did I say it?
Flipping Familia. You said fixing Familia.
Flipping Familia. My bad.
That's okay.
And the fellow that sponsored MOG, that was Victor.
Victor Aponte.
Victor Aponte, whose house we went and saw last week at the last on-site. On Glenwood. It was one of those rehabs that he ended up having to tear down and turn into new construction. So they're sponsoring this event. It is the first time I've heard of one that they're doing in Spanish or Spanglish. So be worth checking out.
Thank you.
All right, everybody, welcome to the Onsite Renovation Group. Sorry we got off to a little bit of a late start, but just for the folks that are watching this at home, Frank Iglesias, this is his house we're visiting today. And he called me up about 45 minutes to 12 and said, yeah, I got some bad news. My car broke down on the side of the road in Ackworth, on the side of the highway. So he's in the process of calling a tow truck and getting picked up. Luckily, his sister Melanie was in the area. Melanie, we appreciate you filling in today. Don DeRosa's here, and can you introduce your friend again?
Juanita?
Juanita.
The interior designer.
She's the interior designer for this particular project we're looking at today. So I want to welcome you guys all for coming out today. The Onsite Renovation group is primarily for rehabbing houses. We go out and see a different project every month. But last week and this week, we're seeing new construction projects because a lot of rehabbers are getting into new construction. Don, you want to tell us why rehabbers are getting into new construction?
Primarily because it's harder and harder to find properties at 65 cents on the dollar.
Yep, that's right.
That's the big reason.
So they can go in and find these vacant lots.
Right.
And
And buy a lot for $10, $15, $20,000.
Yep.
Got a
So
car.
we got a car coming, so we can just kind of scooch over here and you guys can back up.
He gave up.
Okay. Well, he may be with us. He may be
gave
looking
up.
for a place to park.
Yes, 'cause we can't hear when they talk.
Yeah.
They need to face us because we can't hear them.
All right. You guys want to face them?
Probably better if we do it this way.
That's fine.
That way.
It's just not good for the shot because of the sun, but I'll do the best I can. But you guys will be able to hear better.
Yeah.
This is primary for the people that are here in person anyway. The folks at home, they get what they get for not being here.
So most of the rehabbers that are doing new construction, the main reason is because it's getting more and more difficult, or at least it has been, to buy properties at 65, 70 cents on the dollar because everyone's driving the price up. And so the next best thing, you got lots of lots, lots of infill lots like this that, you know, you had a really poor constructed house or a beaten up house, and it's easier. I'm assuming you tore something down here, right?
Wasn't this a vacant lot?
Was it
It
vacant
was
or?
vacant.
Yeah, I
Okay.
remember looking it up on Google Earth and seeing a vacant lot.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times it's either vacant or you have a house that just isn't savable. So they tear it down. Costs less to tear it down than it does to build it back up. So that's primarily the reason.
So you know for a fact Frank's been doing a lot of new construction here over the past year or so. What made him change and get into new construction?
It was the same situation. We were running into a lot of competition on the rehabs and not almost any competition on the lots. Only a few people were doing them. And we were getting great deals because there wasn't any competition.
Right, and you guys
So-
already have the crews and stuff.
Yes.
They're doing the rehabs.
And that's the big thing is the crews. If you have the crews, this is an easy transition. It's where you don't have the crews that you have a couple of GCs here or there. But once you get to a point where you can facilitate from the ground up, it becomes an easy transition then.
Now,
Yeah.
because Frank's not
And
here,
less work, actually. I think something like this is going to be less the work than a rehab.
we're going to find out. But because Frank's not here, I usually kind of start in the beginning, especially for a lot of folks that don't necessarily know you or Frank, to tell us a little bit about yourself, how long you guys have been doing this, what your specialties are.
Well, right now we're WH Ventures, but we started off as working with houses. We've been doing this for 10 years. We started actually when the economy went down in '08. As everybody was running away, we were running towards.
Yep, that's the way to do it.
We took a course, and at the very beginning we used to buy HUD homes right off of HUD for 30, 40,000. We'd put 20 in, and then we'd sell for 100. We did that 09, 10, 11. I mean, no competition, just buying them and selling them, paint, carpet, clean. And then things changed, and we bought some rentals and such. And then we got into rehabbing suburbs, Gwinnett, Cobb, which is same thing, paint, carpet, clean, higher ARVs. And then in the last, then we got into Atlanta about 4 years ago. the metro area, everybody's moving back in town.
Mm-hmm.
So we decided to start in town. A lot of our rehabs are historic, older homes, people that also shy away from because it's a little scary when you get these, 80, 100-year-old homes. But so we try to find niches where people are leaving and we're coming.
Right.
And then 2 years ago, we started actually here in East Atlanta with our first new builds, a couple of streets over on Whiteford. And we, did great. It was a huge success. So we actually have three more here in East Atlanta, all like half a mile from here.
Yeah.
This is
5 minutes
15,
away.
yeah. This is 1527 First Street. We bought it as a lot in the 140s. It's a little over 2,000 square feet, but it's going to be around 300,000 a build because, it's all very modern and has a lot of extras. But
How many
it's
square
going to
feet did you
be
say?
worth,
How many square
it's
feet?
about 2,200, I believe.
And your build cost is 300.
Yes.
So what is that per square foot?
It's high. We would
Do the math, somebody.
We would usually do about 220 to 240, but because we wanted to do extra stuff, it's probably going to be up to 300. But the ARV here is anywhere from 650 and up. So there's room to play in there.
Yeah, 136.
Is just for the build, not for the lot included.
Exactly. And last night at
Yeah.
Shark Tank, I was telling everybody, you're going to build in town lots most of the time, be around $125 to $150 a square foot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So-
And like I said, that's just the build cost without the lot.
Yeah, because Mike was saying he could do it at 90, which is true. If you have your own crews, you could possibly do it for that rate, but it's really difficult
But
for the average person to come in and grab a builder. If you don't have your own crews and you haven't established yourself yet, you're going to pay a little bit more
you're going to pay more than all these guys.
per square foot, sure.
But also, Mike's not doing $650,000 houses either.
No, no.
His $90 is for more affordable houses in the hood, where he can get more. He does. He flips
Well, at
the.
least suburban.
He
as
flips the
well.
hood. He flips the hood.
Yeah.
And he's able to get, because he's got his own crews, he's able to keep that price per square foot lower for sure. We're just letting the car through.
Yes.
I think she's with us.
Okay.
Oh, is this one of these her houses?
So
Hope we're not blocking her driveway.
interesting. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna walk around this way to view it from the outside. It's still very much a construction zone, so we'll look at it from the outside and then we'll go in through the garage,
Okay.
which is the only ways in right now.
Yeah, the other thing
Safely.
I always tell people,
Safely.
what I always tell people at these on-site renovations, this is an active construction site.
Literally, they're here working right now.
So look for nails, holes, things that you can trip on. So please pay attention. Don't just walk around with your
Yeah. There may
head
not
down.
be guardrails going up and down stairwells, things
There
like that.
isn't.
So be real careful.
There's no guardrails. You should watch out for nails. Watch where you step in between.
Yes.
Watch when you step up steps to make sure that you're putting your foot the right level.
Yes.
And
Right.
watch out for anything overhang because you may be talking to someone and you might scrape your head against something.
Yeah, no
But just
texting while you're walking upstairs.
Be cautious. It's just any traditional construction site
Yep.
behavior. Good
Yep.
behavior.
So before we go take the tour, tell us about this project, the style that you chose, why you chose this particular style in this neighborhood. Tell us a little bit about the neighborhood and a little bit of background on what you got planned.
Well, I can tell you about the style. When we decided we were going to do a modern house, we were trying to figure out what siding to use. So what we did with this house is we're doing a combination of cedar wood on cypress on the siding for the wood, the lap that you're seeing here, and then we're doing stucco panels. So for us, we wanted more of a cleaner aesthetic, and if you when you guys drove around the neighborhood, you would have passed like several modern houses, like the one across the street.
Yep, this one.
There's one, like there's two more around the corner as you're parking. The whole neighborhood, even though it used to be a traditional neighborhood, is starting to become modernized, and a lot more people are more excited about having more new builds and new modern builds. So for us, it's about kind of streamlining the way the house looks, and kind of, the architect draws a plan and then you start to bring it to life. So for us, it was like not doing a traditional door, doing the lap, but doing the stucco with the metal reveals. So you're getting that as you go around the house. These big open windows are amazing because you get a lot of sunlight in your space, and even though you may not have a very big square footage in the rooms that you're in, you'll feel like it's bigger. So if you got some chance, we can walk around.
We're going to walk around. We're going to follow you.
Yeah.
So maybe you answered this already, and I walked away.
Now, I want to remind you as we
Got a
walk,
warmer coat.
you don't have a mic on, so I've got to keep this pointed at you.
Okay.
What made you choose modern versus traditional, contemporary? I mean, or
Well, that's what she was just
Well,
saying. 'Cause
that's
the
the-
neighbor's
I'm just
trending
saying-
that direction.
Actually, the 5 we have in here are all modern.
Okay.
It's the new, like we said, we're trying to see be a step ahead, see what's coming out, and
now,
the
do you
new
use
trend.
any statistics on that? Like, how do you pick that? Is that just a preference,
Just
or
looking
is that
at the solds in the area, what's becoming active, what's selling the fastest.
okay?
I would also say, like, these same stats in a traditional house will not have the same value that a modern house will sell at in terms of the sell value. Meaning, the traditional house, like, it's going to sell at a lower price point, but the modern house is actually selling at a higher price point. So even though you're taking...
Why do you think that is? Just because of the design style?
I think people know that when you do a modern aesthetic that you're going to pay more for that, and they want that. They want it more updated. Maybe they can get a traditional house, and you have a lot of those in Atlanta, which is beautiful, and we do those.
Right.
But then there's a group of people who want more streamlined. They're leaning more to that European kind of sleekness, and they want that aesthetic here in Atlanta.
A little bit of supply and demand too, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
exactly.
definitely
It's a trend. It's a big
It's
trend.
definitely a big trend.
We can go
in a
to
good
the
kind of way.
Okay. We're going to do our best to follow you ladies.
Yeah. One of the interesting things about this house, so you'll get it as you walk around, is it's got 2 full decks and then a rooftop deck, which is about like half the square footage of the full deck.
Okay.
That's not traditional in any form, that you could be on the roof.
Yeah, they can't hear it.
We're here to wait. We can't hear nothing.
We got to follow us.
We had talked this way, not away from it.
We're walking to the back. We're going to
I couldn't hear nothing.
Okay. Well, I'll repeat it
What we do is walk back there. You talk to us, then we'll stop and you'll tell us some more.
So,
Just let everybody recongregate over here.
yeah. And if they want, they can squeeze in there.
Yep.
If that's helpful.
Yep, absolutely. Just congregate it right over here. You guys can hear a little bit better.
Right now you have 2 full decks back here, and up there where you can't fully see at the top is a half rooftop deck. So what happens is, not one of the upsells to picking this property when the new homeowner comes is they can have a nice, hang out with their friends, or they can have off of the master, which is that second story, they can have their own little retreat. And then when you want to, go all the way up to the rooftop, you can even have a hot tub up there if you want to, and have some fun looking at, the stars.
Yeah, no doubt. So that whole upper area is open?
So you see where the wood touches the stucco?
Yes, I do.
That's the exact length. So that's what I'm saying. It's almost like a little bit like half or 3/4 of
So that whole top part
That
is like a
whole
deck?
top, yes,
This
it
is a
is.
deck and this is a deck.
Uh-huh. So that's going to be one of the cool
Wow.
features of walking the house. And
Yeah,
one
it
of the
is.
upsells to this neighborhood, a lot of our modern houses have rooftop decks. I would say this is like 4, because there's Niles and there's Argonne and then there's Montgomery. Were we at 5? 5. Okay, so 5. So we've got, in some of the other locations, depending on where you are, you're going to get a view of the Atlanta city skyline, or you're going to get a view, just depending on where you are. Even in some of our, like, you get an interesting scenery shot, of what's obstructing. Because the great part about being in Atlanta, there isn't a lot of high rises in these neighborhoods, so you get an unobstructed like 360.
Nice.
So
Very nice.
some areas you're going to have trees and landscaping, and other areas you're going to get, like here, you're going to get a clear shot. So that's one of the benefits to picking and putting a modern house on a lot like this, is that even though the lot may be narrow, you're maximizing your space. Now the average person may appreciate having a backyard, but this person's going to appreciate having all those decks.
Yeah, they are.
You know, they're going to have parties and they're going to entertain, and it's going to be a great, you know, feature for them in terms of outdoor, indoor living, more city style.
Absolutely.
And you have gas lines on your decks, so you can grill. You could put a fire pit, you know, so we've thought about things like that. So to me, if I was living here, I would probably put a fire pit at the rooftop. I put my grill on that lower level and entertain and relax in the middle.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I want to open it up to some questions for Don and from the audience. You got any questions about the exterior before we go take a look at the inside? Any questions?
Are you gonna polyurethane the wood?
Yes, so what's going to happen is it's not just polyurethane. I prefer to do like a slight stain. If you look at the front door is a little darker, so I'm probably going to color match that and then seal it. And then the stucco that you're seeing there is going to get sprayed to a nice finish color. And just depending on which houses we go to, this house you're just going to get like paint and then a stain and seal. But it's not going to be a shiny seal, it'll be like more like a satin. So that it's not like, so it won't date itself.
Okay. I've got a question for anybody that can answer. New construction versus rehabbing. Is it easier to get permits when you're rehabbing or when you're doing new construction? Which is easiest in these historic districts like this?
It really depends, really. With new construction, I'm right here. with new construction, anyway, I mean, at times because of the lots, at times you have to apply for a variance. That means that you have to go to the neighborhood, and that means they might approve you or not approve you. You might be restricted in what you can build as well too. And when you want to talk about historical districts, you have to conform to historical standards. So that becomes another challenge you have to go through. One of my biggest experience also too with the industry, the property, especially when you're doing new construction, especially on vacant lots, is trying to find the sewer line.
Yeah.
And that can be a big money,
Yeah.
because you don't know what's under this grounds.
Right.
So
I think Don ran into that issue recently on one of his deals.
Yeah, we've had that. I think we always try to find it pretty early on.
Yeah.
So we
Site work goes first.
Yes,
Yeah.
you need to locate those things early. And I was gonna say to you, historic, sometimes getting like a lot passed in terms of a modern might be easier than fitting into historic standards, because we have even stricter guidelines. Then sometimes the neighborhoods only meet so many times a month and they have to review those, and then you have to get those approved. So sometimes that is even more tricky, but I mean it depends on each neighborhood specific.
It depends on if you, like I said, if you need a variance, you'll meet, you could meet with the historic committee, and then you meet at the variance committee. If they meet different times, it could take you months. It could take you 8 months to get your permitting.
Or even, for instance, at Montgomery, right around the corner, in order to build a deck, we were in the stream buffer, so we had to put up a stream buffer encroachment sign, notify all the neighbors by mail now, not phone call, not email, this is snail mail, and allow them, 30 or 60 days? To
30.
complain or reject our request for the stream buffer encroachment to build the deck. And then the city was going to approve it. So it really just depends.
Yeah, it depends on your lot.
This is Sabrina, our
Hi, guys.
project manager.
Hey, Sabrina.
She's doing the 5 moderns, with this included.
Yeah, this one included.
So how many
really
projects
like
you
the
guys got
idea.
going on right now?
What is it, 20?
Wow.
Yeah, 20.
Because a few people were asking me how come Frank doesn't run the wholesaling group anymore. I said he's too damn busy doing all
Yeah.
these deals.
It's hard.
Yeah. I'm trying to finish
Yes.
all 20.
Yeah, we're trying to, yeah.
We have Sabrina project managing. I do a lot of the project managing on the south side. Renita's our full-time in-house designer. We also have an in-house assistant and an in-house, what do we call Naomi?
She's like an assistant.
Yeah, she's our construction assistant.
Yeah, construction.
Yeah,
She takes care of like our budgets, our contracts, you know, things like that, all the paperwork. And then we've got Heather who does the overall, like
Budgets.
oversees all of us, who does a lot of our purchasing, our vendor relationships,
Purchasing.
permits in the
Yes.
city,
Tons.
things like that. That's what she handles.
Yeah.
So you guys got a machine going now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's
Keep very busy. No
Yes.
one's got free time.
So I have a couple questions actually. I love the idea of having a rooftop deck up there.
Yeah.
What would it have cost you to extend it the whole length of the house, to have like a penthouse approach to it?
Well, the trick, okay, so a couple of things to think about is your equipment, you know, where's it sitting, how's
Right.
it venting, and how much, because you still need to have access for those points. And then we would have had to it's not just like a flat roof, like some of our systems, like, I don't remember if this one is like, is this one sloped or this one's flat?
This one's flat,
This one's flat.
if I remember correctly.
We battled in between flat roof, gable hidden behind parapets, like
Yep.
for cost, you know, issues, because flat roofs were really expensive. And then extending the deck and then creating the water system that can drain.
Well, that was the other
adds
question, is
a
how does it
lot
drain?
of
That's
money.
expensive.
How does it
That's
drain?
a lot, very expensive. So for us,
drains out of those.
yeah,
those.
we have like we have those side scuffers.
Well, you
and
can't
then
see the
it's
scuppers from
hidden.
this side. The scuppers are on the other side. These are your like HVAC vents,
Yeah,
your
those
stove
are-
vent,
those
things
are
like
your-
that. But the challenge
Yeah,
really
that's
is the rooftop deck, how you're going to do it. And when you walk up to the rooftop deck on the left, you'll see where the plywood, where we're going to apply what's under it, has a little slope towards the scupper that's been cut out of the side of the
Allows the
parapet.
water. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's uneven.
It's intentionally uneven as you go there so that the water can drain out to the side gutters, so that it's doing that. And we talked about hiding gutters versus exposing. I mean, we've went back and forth within what was the best solution. I mean, ideally it sounds amazing to have your whole rooftop and have the party on your rooftop, but then you've got to worry about load, and then you've got to worry about like the capacity you're gonna have in there, and then what equipment you got to shift and how that. So it became too.
So you actually thought about that?
Oh, believe me, we went, because when you hear rooftop deck, you do think the whole rooftop.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
why I made sure to let you guys know that it's a partial.
So I got a question for you. Because you have multiple new builds going on, are you using the same design over and over, or is every house totally unique?
No, there's similarities, but they're all unique.
Yeah. This one is similar to our Midtown property. The lot in Midtown is bigger, so the width of that property is actually a little bit wider. And then because of the neighborhood, the finishes will be a little bit more upscale than necessarily this neighborhood. So, I mean, it's a balance between both. I
Yeah.
think we generally try to use like one of our plans at least one other time, you know, to be more cost effective when
I was
you're
going to say,
buying.
what's the cost of a typical plan for you guys?
Oh, it varies.
Yeah.
It varies because we have new builds that are smaller than this as well. So it really depends on what category you're in, price point.
Okay, so let's
In
let's
general,
pick
like a
this- let's
range.
pick this one then. Something like this.
Because a lot of these guys are new and don't have a clue what these things cost.
With the architect,
Yeah.
Are
your
we at
plans.
like 6 on the low? Like to start? Because I feel like
Well-
we worked out a deal across several
yeah, we worked
projects.
a deal out with
Like, so it's
that
not just one.
particular architect.
So they're doing like 15 plans for us at one time. So
Yeah, we had
Okay.
economies
Wow.
of scale in our favor.
Yeah, you
so,
did.
like for instance, when we order siding, the Cypress siding we're ordering for 4 more other properties. So our vendor gives us a discount based on our quantity.
Yep.
So it's kind of hard. I mean, I know it's harder for
Yeah.
newer investors to get it going, and you have to be a little more conscientious
Yeah.
of that.
Well, that's my
Why do
point.
one when you can do 10, right?
My point is, they may not be able to get 10 at this point, but let's try it. So
Yeah,
we were to
start
go
somewhere.
do this, they're going to start, where would they start? That's the biggest thing.
I would start with an architect who's already did these kind of lots, but also maybe you want an architect that's focused on the neighborhood you're building in, because they would know the variances, they would know like how to work around like what restrictions they have, and then they can get things approved a lot faster.
Do you use
Yes.
expediters?
No.
No?
No. No.
Don't have to?
Yeah.
No.
Ironically, no. I mean, Heather gets in there, and if we have an
She
issue,
is an expediter.
she's
then.
expediting
she
for us.
kinda
She
is.
kind
Yeah.
of does
She calls
internally.
people and she
She
knows
does,
who to go
yeah.
to.
Once
Yeah,
she
once
sees
you've
an
done it a
issue,
couple times, it's
she
you
does it.
become your own expediter.
Yeah.
But
So we don't actually use an expediter, but we definitely do.
Yeah.
Like she gets in there and like resolves a lot of our problems pretty
Okay.
quickly.
Does that cost include the structural engineer also?
No.
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 so the plans to draw this up, you're looking at what? What would they be looking at?
I want to say 5,000.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look it up too.
You can
I
guess.
feel
I mean,
like
you
it's 5
can.
to 6.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
5 to 6.
So you got an empty lot. You're looking at buying things. You go, okay, I need to factor in my costs. First cost, obviously, the cost of the lot.
Yeah.
And
And what'd
then
you say it was here? The cost of the lot, you said 120,
140.
140?
Yes.
So you got the cost of the lot. Then you have your permitting, your design work, your all your plans and drawings.
Yep. Bring in your
And that's going to be, I'm
Where's
guessing
First
that's
Street?
going to be, when you're all said and done with that, it's going to be somewhere around $10,000, $12,000.
Yeah, you're gonna add up pretty quickly. It starts off like low with your architect, and then depends on how many revisions you do, and how complicated you get, and then how many versions of it they have to go back until you kind of get the pricing down. Because architects are gonna dream up, and then you've got to like scale them down. Their job is to give you like that dream, and then you're like, okay, well, how much can we really build it for, and where are we really at, and then how can we bring it all the way back to where the configuration makes sense. So for us, that's why the rooftops may be a little bit different, or in this case, the stairs may be a different outlet because the lot, sloped, and we had to build up the stairs to match. So the
can't
architect
find
may have
the
drawn
budget.
everything but the stairs in some of our plans, and then we have to revisit that and build that on site.
Yep.
So that happens a lot. You have a question?
Yeah, so between the architect and the builder, you're saying scale up and scale down.
Yeah.
Where do they marry at as far as who's who, the builder and architect, since you're not the same?
Well, because architects
like
just
a
giving
usual.
their drawing, and then we're taking it, and when we're hiring the contractor to build it, then we're kind of we police everyone, right? The builder goes, well, he drew this and that, and then we go, well, we can't do it at that. We need to simplify it. And sometimes you'll see that we may start off somewhere on a plans and then have to tweak it to make it meet the middle.
All right. Any other questions before we go take a look inside? Because once we let you, what's that?
What's the size of the property?
That's what I'm looking at.
200? You said?
22.
Oh yeah, inside. Yeah.
I think 22.
2,200.
I think 2,200.
And was that the original plan?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then they got some really nice outdoor living space. Well, the way this usually works is we kind of turn you loose to go look around the house, and then we find some place to recongregate once you've looked around so we can ask more questions. So that's probably what we're going to do.
So when did you buy this? And you may have answered this already. When did you close?
About a year ago, at the end of last year.
So 2017?
Yes, and we started actually building the beginning, well, like spring.
So April?
We tried to build, I mean, honestly, every contractor will tell you it's going to take them 4 to 6 months. Whatever they say, it's double.
Yeah.
It's not, put in your holding costs, double,
Yes.
or whatever they say,
Yeah.
because that's how long it's going to take. Because that's what it is in a perfect world, without
Materials,
inspections,
rain, all of that.
rain, the city,
Yeah.
and everything else.
So on that note, as far as carrying costs, do you have a traditional budget for carrying costs on every project, a percentage or certain time frame or any of that stuff that's part of?
I mean, we calculate at the beginning how much it's going to be to hold it, interest.
What do you typically use?
everything. What do you mean use
Case by
What
case
time
or
frame?
percentage per property or?
to make?
What do you typically use for your holding costs, holding period?
I mean, whatever
year
our
and a half?
yeah, a year, at least a year. We hope for you want to over because if I get done in 10 months, then yay. But you don't ever want to do it under.
So you started building in around, you said around April?
Yes.
And this is where you've gotten from April till now. Okay. Is this on track or is this behind schedule?
It's a little bit
Oh, it's
behind because we had did this one have a GC? Which GC? Doug?
Which is
Yeah.
pretty normal.
yeah.
So
but
we
we
had a GC that we let go of like maybe 3 months ago. So this one's completely in-house now. We partner with another GC but he's more there for if we have a question, we'll call him. He does inspections, but
Can I ask why you let that GC go?
Well,
I think you got your answer.
I can't.
You know what? Time frame, budgets, material usage, those are several different reasons. If you're not like really properly inspecting and then we're failing inspections, like those are things that you would let like a GC go for. Over ordering materials when you have to like mind your budget and things like that, that would be another reason. And for us, it was just like when you're getting costly expenses of fixing things that should have got caught, that's one of the main reasons why.
And then we've spent a lot of time fixing what we found after he left. So a lot of those delays came in, in those
Yep.
types of forms.
Well, you ready to go inside and take a look, guys? Yeah?
What was your ARV on this?
650.
This way.
So your cost on it, $650. You bought it for $140.
Thanks.
So you're into
140
it for
plus 300.
$450 right now, ish.
Yeah.
$450.
Yes.
All right, let's go take a look.
Very crazy. Very crazy and very crazy.
Just remember, be careful of nails.
Boards,
Or boards.
lumber, holes.
Snakes.
Hey, Doc. Hey, guys, just go take a look at the house. We're going to congregate and ask questions in a little bit. That way we can get everybody together.
Go ahead. I walked this house like 3 times.
All right, here's a screw, so don't step on it. Watch out for it. I always warn
All right.
everybody, this is a real live job site.
All right. Yeah, lovely, huh? I'm about to ask Sabrina. Sabrina?
So,
Sabrina?
I'm looking for DeRosa. There he is. Okay. I was going to say, I'll just take a tour with you and Melanie, and then we'll recongregate down here. So, Melanie, if you can just give us, me, Don, and the camera a tour,
Okay.
that'd be great.
Okay.
So you want to start upstairs?
You want to be away from the shot?
Yeah, yes, I'm just over here.
Okay.
Okay.
Hi. So Don just asked me, the roof, the deck is not finished, so that's why there's water coming in because still plywood up there from whenever it rained this week. But this big open area is the kitchen, living, and dining room. As you know, open floor plans is the new thing. Plus, I mean, in a modern, you would expect an open floor plan.
Right.
So there's your island.
Yeah, so the kitchen's on the left side,
That's your kitchen, island,
and then
living area, dining, living area.
and then
Is that a bedroom up front?
That's your in-law suite, I guess you could call it.
Okay.
There's a bathroom on the other side of the kitchen as well, a full bathroom.
Yep. Got it.
yes, and then you could
And then you
see.
have that portion of the deck that goes down to the back with access to the outside.
Let me tell them that they go down those stairs.
I do like the windows though.
Don, follow us.
it will go because these people aren't going to get the money.
Don't go down the back stairs. just because we don't have railings.
I was gonna say, don't go down there. There's no
Yeah.
railings on there.
Yeah.
No, we're going in and out through the garage.
So this is kind of, you know, something different. Filling it all in instead of balusters or other things people use.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's also safer.
Safer
yeah.
for kids, if you have any, or
I don't know
dogs.
if there's any kids around here though. It's just not kid friendly.
But it's high ceilings too, so you don't feel so.
No yard for kids.
Yeah. And a lot of light.
Has it been the same building throughout?
Just switched of GCs.
So we are the builder.
Okay.
GCs, we've tried different ones. It's,
Yeah, I heard the story down.
so
Carry you back through that.
it's kind of hard to. We're not married to any GC right now.
And there will be underdeck under this.
Yeah.
So in case you're wondering if the homeowners will actually experience all this dust and leaves falling through their cracks, they won't.
Yes, so we could go to the next one. We actually already did as much as we could.
Not this one.
We've actually done it twice already. No, just to keep it away from the roof.
Watch your step, guys.
So stay on the right side here.
1, 2,
One step at a time.
3, 4.
That's the in-law suite bath she was talking about over
I get
here.
the floor plans all mixed up in my brain. And this would be the front door. I would think.
Just more bedrooms. We got 3 up here.
All right, I'm gonna go find these kitchen
4,
with these guys.
2.5, or 3.5.
Careful with your steps.
Yes. I know it-
Do you do the drones when you take the photos and stuff of the...
you know what? We're starting to. We're working out a deal with architect to
Yeah.
do some of those drawings that are
I
fun.
mean, just the shots you can see downtown. In
Yeah.
that direction at the top.
Yes.
Yep.
So that will be a cool listing photo.
Oh man. So you could kind of walk that way. 'Cause I don't
So let
want-
me ask you, what's left? I mean, I can see what's left, but I mean, when do you anticipate your project finished?
So right when we're passing framing this week.
Yeah, framing inspection will be
So
this
once
week.
framing is passed, we'll sheetrock and the rest.
Insulate, sheetrock, and yeah.
This is a bigger house, so it'll probably take 2 months from passing and framing. Yeah. On the smaller houses, I could do it in a month, but this is big, so. That'll probably be 2 more months.
I want
but-
to see the deck upstairs.
Yeah,
I do
everybody
too.
wants to see that. So,
Hey, John.
Yep. The roof deck.
My wheels are turning for the roof deck.
so we have a back door here, and then so a lot of sunlight.
Yeah, you do.
Everybody loves sunlight. So.
And that's the master right on the other side, so they get nice
Yeah, I
access
see
to the
where
roof.
they.
Yes.
This is the rooftop deck. Nice.
This is the rooftop
Yes.
deck. This is what I was saying. If there was a way to figure out to take it the whole length of the roof, that would have been amazing.
Yes. So I know.
Well, because what makes the modern houses different is that the HVAC and your mechanicals aren't stored in your ceiling like they are in normal houses.
Yeah.
So we had some framing and architectural issues because they didn't account for where those units would go and where the ductwork would go.
Gotcha.
So maybe had that been accounted for in the beginning, we might have been able to spend the money to extend this a little bit. But
So are you putting a platform on this? Is that covered?
no, this is pretty much. Well, we're gonna cover that.
siding.
Yeah, that's gonna be a finished edge.
With
but
siding.
This is
Okay.
just gonna be plain.
Just like that.
That's your drain, right? That's your drain.
That would be the scuppers, yes, and then there's one down there too as well. Yes.
Yeah.
How would the water get out?
No, there's one here.
That,
At the bottom.
and
There's
then
one
over
on the
there.
At the end.
At the end. These would be considered the emergency scuppers, where those
the one
fill up or they
overflows.
get clogged or whatever. Those overflow.
Yeah.
So we noticed you had some water leaks. Where is
Yeah.
that coming in from?
That's coming from here.
Oh, okay.
Because this isn't sealed yet. We don't have siding on. Our flooring for our deck
Yeah,
isn't
needs
on
to be
yet.
floored.
So the water
in between.
basically finds wherever it can to get through.
Yep, and check out this view. You can see the skyline over the trees. So a lot of nice outdoor living space here for sure. Got really good views in all directions.
I have a question. I'm a realtor and I also represent a lot of investors and work with a lot of new investors. And I notice a lot of the high-end investors are getting caught where they're over-renovating, they're doing these awesome houses, Mulhar, a lot of the people we go to, and then they're sitting for a little bit longer than they expected. How are you guys battling that? I mean, how is that
That's
a
a
challenge
great
for you?
question.
Well-
That's a great question.
We try to stay in the, well,
'Cause this
I
is a
wanted
higher
to
end
say
split,
the
so-
500 range. It's not, it's actually still, there's still a bigger buyer's pool.
Yeah.
I know some of the houses he was doing in the million range out towards Morningside and other higher end areas. They are very strong, but your buyer pool is, you know, very little. But 500 is very common in town. So we haven't ran into problems
So out of
with
all the
that.
projects you guys are running right now, that you're still good, you don't have any that are sitting too long?
No.
Okay. So that's-
What's your average? It's a good question. What is your average sell days on market? Yeah.
Less than a month.
Okay.
Usually a week or two.
That's
Okay.
great, yeah.
And we're also, I list some of our properties too, so we try to, I track really like what, you know, I'd rather price right
Right. Don't let it sit.
than let it sit. And
Smart.
so, I mean, we want 675 or more this, but if the highest sell is 650, I'm going to list it at 650.
Yeah.
I don't want to work on pushing the market like people do. We just listed one in Venetian Hills for 229. I saw some people pushing 239, 259, but the last sale was 229, and so I listed. They had been sitting for a month, and I went and I always walk all my competition in person. And
Smart.
yeah, because pictures are deceiving. And I listed for 229, and I was under contract in 5 days.
That's awesome.
But even 10,000 will make a difference, and the amount of holding costs on something like this could be 3 to 5 to 6,000 a month. So there's no point. I'll just spend it on holding costs if I try to hold it. So
So how many projects are you building right now? The city of Joe?
about 20.
20.
They're all different price points in different areas, but that includes rehabs. They're not all new builds. There's 5 just like this, including this one
In other areas of the city?
of the city. Yeah, there's 5, and we try to keep them all close too.
Yeah.
So we have 5 like within a half mile of here. I'm sorry, 4 within half a mile here. 1 in Pont City Market. 4 off of Turner Field, 5 off of Turner Field, but on the same street, right next to Grant Park. But you want to keep, you know, your rehabs close, because you really, if you gotta run.
Yeah, it's difficult to run around.
And
Even
where are you guys from? Ackworth? Where do you guys live?
Canton.
So they're out in Canton,
Oh, wow.
rehabbing all these houses down in the city. So it's a
Yeah.
bit of a long distance relationship. And doing 20.
Yeah,
Yes.
you'd say that.
So
Yep.
keep them close
The,
to each
the
other.
closer the better, for sure. That's a lot of running.
And
That's
even,
why I think that's why Frank's car broke down today. Put all those miles on it.
His car was like, ends on.
and
Yeah.
even if it's clustered
done.
all in the city, it'll still take you sometimes 15 minutes to go from one cluster of properties to the other.
Yes.
So you think about
yeah.
where you're traveling.
Plus during rush hour. All right, ladies, let's go back downstairs
Carefully.
in the next level down and kind of give us a tour of that next level.
Okay.
We kind of walked through it kind of quickly
Yeah,
and didn't
you
see what
gotta
was there.
kind of go through the 2x4s on that level.
We'll do the best we can.
I've got my framer looking at it. I walked it yesterday and I was like, oh, that's a little deep.
How would they fix that? Just like an extra slab of wood?
We'll see. We'll see how he wants to do that. It's really sloped that high because of the scupper that's right there and the deck. So I'm wondering if he might be able to just slope it a little less and get the same result.
Yeah, that's good. I think that might cause some.
So she's going to give us a quick tour of this level.
So you're looking at the master bedroom right over here. Obviously it doesn't look as spacious with a pile of sheetrock in the middle, but it's pretty big. We've got the master ensuite over here. You've got a huge standing shower right there. You'll have your double vanities over here on my right, and then you've got closet on your left, and then the toilet room in the middle.
So he's standing in the closet.
Yes.
Hey man, it's time to come out of the closet.
And and then of course on the other side you'll have the shared bathroom and then the 2 bedrooms and then your laundry room. But we can walk around.
Nice windows.
Oh yeah.
Gorgeous.
Be careful walking around this sheetrock. You got no railings here.
Yep. So right here you'll be in the laundry room. The shared bathroom over here, and then your 2 bedrooms over here that face the front of the house. And they also have big, lovely windows as well.
Yeah, they do.
Windows custom or?
They're not custom, but they do, they're not like in-stock items, so you do have to wait a little bit.
Wow, look at the size of these windows. Gorgeous. Look at that view of the street corner. Wow. These windows really make it.
It will be
By the time we're done.
All right.
This room is perfect for exhibitionists.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, compare those windows over here to these. It's huge, huge.
We didn't want to say. We didn't want to seem like we were looking at you.
I can't say her from that.
Nice sized bedrooms. So if you guys want, we can recongregate down on the first floor.
Yeah, it's probably better. Just be careful walking past.
Very
this.
nice, ladies, very nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, there you go.
Be very, very careful.
Yeah.
Everybody come in.
Don, we might have to try one of those gimbals.
I bought one.
Is it a selfie stick gimbal?
I'll show it to you.
It'd be handy for stuff like this.
It's not.
Hey everybody.
I just bought it.
Yeah. I guess we're gonna go that way.
Wherever it's easy to reconvene. Yeah, it's a little bit more open over here. All right, so gather around, everybody. If you guys get any final questions, now's a good time to ask them.
Now, I have a question. When you, because of this, will you need to remove this? Or will you remove this?
Basically what we'll do is we'll dry it out, and then treat it, so that the potential to grow mold is not there. Obviously, if it already has it, then we'll replace it.
What do you treat it with?
They have a antimicrobial thing. I don't buy it. So-
Microban or something like that?
Yeah, it's something like that.
Yeah.
And this is what they were talking about, the leak coming from the upper deck that hadn't been sealed yet. It's just leaking down in here.
But this is only a few, maybe 4 or 5 boards, so
Yeah, I just
we may
curious.
just change it.
Mm-hmm.
Ask.
Oh, could you tell us about your company? I'm kind of intrigued. I love the girl power thing going on. And so I just want
Actually, Frank's the only guy.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that.
Hey, that's the problem.
Maybe we can do that, it's just the two of us.
Yeah.
All ladies.
We
Yep.
actually just started growing
That's right.
2 years ago. Well, we've been doing it for 10 years, but we started the growing about 2 years ago.
So the two of you or you and Frank?
No, me and Frank.
Okay.
And then we got Carrie, which is an assistant. Then we had,
So you mentioned you had like 6 or 7 people, right? Did I?
yes. Yeah, Carrie's Frank's assistant. She does all the, she deals with closings, buying, selling, contracts, paperwork. We're out so much, there's no way to be in and out. There has to be someone in the office doing everything.
What's the new name of your company? It used to be Working with Houses.
Yes, and now we're WH Ventures.
Because I saw something out in the front yard that said like Skywalker or...
So so Skywalk Homes is new. We just got that a few months ago. And that's for, so since we started building, it's kind of like our builder name. So people start we're recognizing the brand. So we're putting the Skywalk Homes
I like it.
on all our new builds. So,
So just to ask questions related to what I was asking, because I want to understand. So did you start off as fix and flip or doing renovations or what? And then you grew into new build? Is that how you evolved?
we took a course, and we started with, the course included wholesaling, real
I was
estate.
going to say, Frank started as a wholesaler.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We started wholesaling, and then when you graduate, you actually have to do a wholesale in that class, and we did. And then we did the rehab boot camp, and then when we finished, we did our first rehab. We took the rental, then we bought our first rental. We really did follow the process, which is something big that Frank talks about. You just really have, because that's the only way you'll understand.
Yep.
You really have to understand your numbers and your areas and your, to make us, sometimes, most good deals, a lot of them are pretty split second decisions where you go and people are like, we have something really good, it fell through, can you take it? You have to.
Yep.
So you start with wholesaling, knowing your areas. And you make quicker money that way, wholesaling. And we still wholesale, of course.
Did you have a question?
In building, how as far as warranty and what you build, how long? So new construction, what do you guarantee to the buyers?
We have a
How do you
10-year
go about
warranty, right?
guaranteeing to the buyers?
It's 1 year cosmetic, 2 year mechanical, 10 year structural for the new builds. So it's like the 210 warranty, just like pretty much any other new build.
We go through through a company, and they give you a book. So when people, complain about something, you go to the book and it'll tell you if it's covered or not.
So typically that pass to the vendor, whoever the vendor is, where we put the heat and AC in, and does it go that way or?
No, we're responsible for it.
We're responsible. They usually. We try to build relationships to where, if they did it, they'll usually come back and do it. But I mean, if something happens 5 years down, I don't know if I'm going to be using the same AC guy. But yeah.
Any other last minute questions?
You say you did a course. Who was your mentor?
Well, we started with actually Rich Dad, Poor Dad Academy. And
you guys went to Fortune Builders, right?
then we went to Fortune Builders after, like 3 years later. Mm-hmm. But I like Fortune Builders because you learn a lot strategically, kind of like the moment stuff. But Rich Dad, Poor Dad taught us like all the book work, like really, and it was very like going to college. Like you have a school, you study, and then at the end you have a project. and we actually did it. The thing is doing it,
And that's in Georgia, right?
That was here, Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Yeah, Rich Dad Poor Dad's kind of like Fortune Builders. They're everywhere.
They come through town all the time, a couple times a year.
They come in town.
Mm-hmm.
They're more conservative, not conservative, but I don't know, old school. Fortune Builders more, you learn, it's just different. It's completely different.
Right.
So we're part of both of those, but.
Yeah, but Fortune Builders, I went to Fortune Builders, and most of the seminars and workshop,
Yeah, workshop.
Those are hands-on.
Yeah, exactly. It's more hands-on, and Rich Dad, Poor Dad was more learning the concepts, strategies, book work related. So.
Yeah, do you guys have a few last questions?
Yeah, I had a question. You said you have 20 projects going on now, and you completed some projects street over, did you say?
Yeah.
A couple houses.
Whiteford.
There's a few in the area, yeah.
Yes.
Did you have any difficulty selling when you put those projects out?
No.
No, okay.
This area, you just go by area. This area is very, one of them was here in East Atlanta, one was in Cabbagetown, which is a very small, like, I guess exclusive little neighborhood. People wait, to a house to pop up. So
yeah, they do.
Mm-hmm. So it was in those areas. We actually have a lot there. Another lot we're waiting to build, and yeah.
When we were up on the roof a few minutes ago saying that most of them are going under contract under 30 days. Selling pretty quick.
So I don't know if we mentioned this. Did we talk about financing on these deals? How do you finance your deals?
Great question.
Most of our deals are privately funded. Frank's worked really hard on building relationships and funding deals, but most of them are privately funded. But we did start with hard money loans.
Most do.
We did many hard money loans. They're expensive, but if you have a good deal, then it'll still work. Even if you gotta pay high on your fees, you just gotta, like they say, the profits in the buy. Mm-hmm. When you buy, you have to buy at the right price if you're going to use money, private money. I mean, hard money.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but we network a lot, like y'all are doing, and to get private money.
Okay. Well, as we wrap things up, do you guys have any final closing remarks, words of wisdom for these folks?
Just if you have a question, always ask first. I have a lot of people that call or Facebook, hey, I have this deal, what do you think? Or they used to go to our meetup at the wholesale, and we used to start with doing does anybody have a deal? We would do a deal analysis. And just reach out to whoever is your mentors, because sometimes it's not a deal for you, or you may not have many, but we've paid people, like let's say you find a deal and you don't have a private lender, you don't have this, that, and the other, but we may be able to pay you, whatever, $3, $5, $7 grand, and you could pass it along, or So, I mean, which is technically wholesaling, right? So there's always a deal, something, anywhere from wholesaling to rental to subject to creative financing. So don't ever let anything go. Just talk to your mentors and find something.
Do you do joint ventures?
We have one more we're doing right now, but I think next year we won't be able to do them anymore because it takes a level of when you JV, a level of communication that we just don't have.
It adds
time.
another dimension, another brain, another opinion. So, if
I
think if we were smaller, it might work better. But since we're as big as we are and we have as many properties as we do, resourcing wise, it doesn't make sense for us to split it off.
Yeah.
Yep. But we do know people that will do it. So definitely ask. We can maybe hook you up.
Absolutely.
What is a gable heap? I've seen that term, gable heap, or something to do with the roof. What's that?
It's the pitch of the roof. It's the type of roof.
The slope?
It's the type of slope of a roof.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Don, you got any closing remarks?
No, not really. I think you guys did a good job. I'm interested to see what it will look like when it's all finished.
Maybe Frank will invite us back and actually be here.
Yeah.
Yes.
When is the expectation?
Well,
About 2 months. I
about
would
2
say.
months with the holidays, at least
Weather,
by February. Our goal is by February because listing
Right.
is.
Well,
good
I'm going to
for
leave a
spring.
spot open on the calendar.
Yes.
Maybe for the third Tuesday in February.
February. Okay.
That'll give us a little bit of buffer.
I like that.
Yeah, maybe come see the finished product
All right.
or see where it
Write
is.
that down.
Hopefully I'll be done before.
I know.
Well, hopefully you will. Hopefully it'll be staged or whatever you're going to do with it. By the way, do you
Yes.
guys stage these new
Yes.
construction properties? I figured
We
you
do.
would.
Yes.
Figured you would.
I mean, and you hear Mahar say it all the time. If you're over budget on your rehab, stage it anyways.
Yeah.
Because it's going to help your
Absolutely.
buyers envision the house. It's going to help,
Absolutely.
them fall in love with it, and that's what's going to make them want to buy it.
Absolutely.
We don't want to fall in love with the house. We want them to fall in love
Exactly.
with
When
the
they walk through the door, they say, wow.
Yeah.
In a good way.
Yes.
A good wow, not a good wow. Wow, like,
house.
oh my God.
Two different types of
I
Yeah.
don't think, and then they're just going to walk out.
Yeah. So something you just mentioned about, having a place to ask questions, having a mentor. We just started a brand new Facebook group called Hot Home Buyers. That's facebook.com/group/Hot Home Buyers as a new resource and a new place for people to go and ask questions, to get Don's help, my help, and any of the people that's in the group's help. So it's a brand new group.
Plus we have
That's the
PPG.
best.
Plus we have PPG if you are interested. Property Protege Group. It's group coaching. So similar to the Fortune Builders type, and
Situation.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's our local group here. We
Similar, but not nearly as expensive. It's like a tenth of the price.
Yes. But we spend the whole year with you. We meet every week. We meet in person every week. So if you're interested if anybody's out there watching, listening.
You really do need a mentor.
You need some help. It's a lonely business trying to figure all this out by yourself, which is one reason we do this
It can be a
meeting.
very expensive
Just so you can
business,
meet
too,
and network some other people that are actually players doing the business and learn from that. Like I said, learn from their successes, learn from their failures. We go out and see seasoned investors like these guys. We go out and see brand new investors' projects, and there's something to learn from everybody.
Yep.
Yeah.
No matter where you are in your game.
When we started, we had to find, 10 people. When we started the wholesaling group 10 years ago almost, we had to find
Has it
10
been that
people.
long?
Yes, and we used to meet in a little Jamaican restaurant in Marietta, and we had to fight to find 10 people. And we still only have, out of that group, 2 of them are definitely still in real estate. Yes.
I didn't know that.
We did not have this luxury of knowing anybody, asking anybody. We had our mentor with our program, but they weren't local, like you said.
Right.
So it's not as easy to ask them because they don't know Atlanta. Y'all are so lucky, and you really need to. Whatever he's offering, join. And
It's inexpensive, it's fun, it's frequent.
Yes, And it's cheaper than a mistake you can make on one of these houses.
Oh, a lot cheaper.
One mistake can
One
cost
mistake.
you rebuilding something
Yes.
that can cost you thousands.
Yeah, the one we
of
went and
dollars.
saw last week was Victor's Place,
Uh-huh.
where they bought it as a rehab,
It's shifted.
and it shifted like 2 feet
Oh,
as they
my
were
God.
demoing it, you know, and they had to end up tearing it down. It was so unstable,
Oh, wow.
and turned it into new construction.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
that's a costly
you know?
mistake. I think
And that's-
he's still going to make money off of it, but man, what a
He
big.
bought it right.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
key. The key to this business is buying it right.
Yep.
I mean, it really
Yeah.
is. If you buy it right, you can make a lot of mistakes
Still recover.
Yeah,
and still recover.
that's the goal.
That's
Yes.
the key. The key is, you know,
Yes.
Well, I just want to remind everybody that next Monday is the Atlanta REIA main meeting. We're going to be talking about this past year, what's transpired, the present, and where the market's going, and how to position ourselves to make sure we continue to buy right, whether things are going to continue to go up or flatten out or go down. So we're going to spend a lot of time talking about that. And then our very next on-site renovation group is going to be down in Buckhead at Rock Shakur's property. It's going to be $1 million. It's $1 million Airbnb.
Nice.
Oh,
Wow.
fun.
Yep, and I don't know how he bought it, but I think he might have bought it creatively. So we're going to find out.
Financing.
We're going to find out. But he's apparently doing really well with it. So it'll be our first Airbnb we've gone to see, and it's a luxury home, an executive home. So it ought to be pretty cool. So we like to go out every month and do different types of projects, different types of properties. This is our first new construction from the ground up that we've been to ever. The one last week, like I said, was a rehab turned new construction.
Okay.
Well, this is a new construction from the beginning, so this was our first, and we do hope to come back and maybe in February. I'm going to leave the spot open, talk to Frank about it, so we can come back and see the finished product.
Yes.
So let's give it up for these guys for being here and hosting us today. Thank you so much. Thank you, Don. Thank you, everybody, for being here. We will see you at another meeting again real soon.
All right.
Thanks, ladies. And everybody have a very happy Hanukkah, happy holidays, and a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We'll see you soon.